next speaker is so world famous that she hardly needs any introduction, but for the very few among you who haven't heard about her works, I'll give you a brief summary of it. She's a developmental feminist, an activist, a poet, an author, and a social scientist from India. Her work focuses on gender, education, human development, media, human rights, and peace, and she has been a tireless advocate for Indian and South Asian women and their right to equality. Her main work has been capacity building for feminist activists and networking and campaigning, and she is the global co-chair of Peace Women across the globe. Her poetry receives high praise, most notably her poem, "Because I Am a Girl, I Must Study." And some of her feminist works and her children's books have been translated in almost 30 languages. And as if that's not enough, she is the Southeast coordinator of 1 Billion Rising, a global campaign dedicated to ending rape and sexual violence against women. So it goes without saying that all of us have a lot to learn from her vast experience. Please help me welcome Kamla Bhasin. Kamla, let me take you to Kamla Bhasin.
Totally honored to be standing here. You've no idea how amazing all of you look from here. 1,400 of you from 120 countries. You are survivors, you are supporters of survivors, you are strivers, you are thrivers, and you are transformers. Clap for yourself. You look colorful, you look strong, you radiate hope, you inspire the confidence of millions around the world. Friends, your solidarity tells me already that you will make an impact. So let us celebrate this coming together by making a feminist noise. Woo! The people of Taiwan for hosting this amazing 4th World Conference of Women's Shelters. You, Garden of Hope in Taiwan, have done us proud by bringing the conference to Asia. Thank you very much. For the first time, the conference has come to Asia. And now, since it has come to Asia, I suggest that all the Asian and Pacific feminists give a big round of applause to every other woman from other continents. Come on! We, the Asians, want to tell you that Asia has been known as the continent of the rising sun. I want to tell you that now we will be the continent of the rising daughters. And don't forget that women are like the phoenix. We rise from the ashes. The harder patriarchy pushes us down. the higher we rise. We are no more victims, we are survivors, we are strivers, we are thrivers, we are achievers. No more driven by others, we are in the driving seat. Do you agree? Friends, I believe that in a decent, humane world, there should be no need for women's shelters. Every home should make every human being feel loved, protected, wanted. But unfortunately, we do not live in a decent, in a humane world. We live in a patriarchal world. In this world, they discriminate against, they violate, they insult half of humanity, women and girls. Patriarchy has made our homes, our schools, our colleges, our offices, our streets and roads into war zones. In patriarchal war, there is no peacetime and there is no peace zone for girls and women. Even the people closest to us don't spare us. Millions of women in the last 3 years in our offices have said, "Me too." Millions. And patriarchy has close partnerships with other hierarchies like race, class, caste, with militarization, with religious fanaticism. Along with these powerful monsters, patriarchy has made life difficult not just for women, for the majority of the people in the world. They have destroyed Mother Nature, created fear and hatred. They have created poverty of all kinds, inequality of all kinds. As a result, in country after country, we have been so-called electing right-wing so-called leaders who, instead of making bridges of peace, are erecting walls of hatred. This is where they have brought us. And friends, these hierarchical systems are creating refugees of all kinds. Everyone is looking for a shelter. Everyone is looking for refuge because they all feel uprooted and violated. This is the big time mess, the big time stress we feminists are dealing with. And you, brave women and men, are creating some hope, some joy in your shelters. We have to clean up this mess, friends. We have to remove fear and hatred from people's minds and hearts. We have to create relationships based on love, based on inclusion. We have to create schools and colleges and offices and public spaces where there is love, where there is equality. Let us try and make every shelter home like a nursery for plants. In those nurseries, you plant some seeds and you make those plants strong, resilient, and you take them to the rest of the world. Let our shelters be like those feminist nurseries. Let us make every shelter a garden of hope, like they have done in Taiwan. strength, grief into songs and dances. Let us make every shelter a city of joy, like they have created in the Congo. In our shelters, friends, in these feminist nurseries, let us weed out fear and hatred, and let us plant seeds of love, inclusion, human rights. Let us transform hatred into love, violence into love. Love for Mother Nature, love for every marginalized human being, love for peace, love for human rights for all. So it is time for all of us to chant with me a slogan of love. Otherwise the world will not hear it. So you will have to say love, love twice. Are you ready? We are makers of love. Twice. We are makers of love. We are traders of love. We are students of love. We are teachers of love. We are seekers of love. We are speakers of love. That's what it is. Thank you. In our shelters, we will teach equality, democracy, human rights, and dignity. Our girls and women will learn autonomy, freedom, but along with freedom they will learn responsibility, because feminists bring both together, responsibility and rights. In our shelters, we should practice and teach girls the radical notion that women are human beings. We have to take back our humanity from these people who are doing violence on 1 billion women in the world. This is the biggest war in the world. Our shelters should make every woman rise against every kind of violence. And friends, as the theme of this conference is solidarity, in our shelters, networking and solidarity should be the basis. That's where we will teach every woman who is in our shelter solidarity. All this means our shelters should be experiments in feminist thinking, in feminist living, and they should not just be a shelter. They should be so radical that patriarchy is seen running helter-skelter. What do you think? Helter-skelter patriarchy, enough of you. And now the time, because you can't all come here, so I'll bring the lecture to you. We will now shout solidarity. Okay, you ready to shout solidarity? Yes. We love solidarity. Solidarity. We want solidarity. We create solidarity. We nurture solidarity. For deepening contact solidarity. For creating impact solidarity. With women workers solidarity. With domestic workers solidarity. With homemakers, solidarity. With LGBTIQ people, solidarity. You know why we want solidarity? Because without solidarity, we can be defeated. But as you can see that women united will never be defeated. So now you have to say, we'll never be defeated. Are you ready? Women united. Will never be defeated. The workers united. Will never be defeated. Indigenous people united. Will never be defeated. The minorities united. Will never be defeated. And the people united. Will never lead to solidarity, which lead to unity. And I want to tell you that for us feminists, unity does not mean uniformity. Solidarity does not mean uniformity. Solidarity does not mean only one truth, only one perspective. Our solidarity should have space for different opinions and experiences based on our different contexts. We feminists believe in diversity. We promote pluralism. And friends, my last point is about inclusion. As all of us today know, like women and girls, boys and men are also being dehumanized, brutalized by patriarchy. Boys and men are also being pushed into tight boxes of genders where they are also not comfortable. Patriarchy is making life difficult also for them. They have not yet understood it like we feminists understood more than 200 years ago. I think no man and no boy is born violent or macho. It is patriarchal homes and patriarchal communities which make them violent, dominating, macho. Therefore, friends, I believe we in this movement have to create alliances with the men's groups who are finally coming out against patriarchy. Along with them, hand in hand, we will challenge patriarchy. Let us create these alliances with them. Let us create alliances, stronger ones with LGBTIQ groups, and let us create alliances with the ecology movement, with the peace movement, with the migrant people's movements. Without alliances, without solidarity, no impact. Friends, I hope that these 4 days together, after this conference, we will be more creative, we'll do more meaningful work. Let us go back, energized, empowered, ready to save the planet, Mother Earth, and to humanize our families, our communities, our offices, our parliaments. And friends, since I come from South Asia, I would like you, those of you who are not from there or from Iran or from Afghanistan, I want you to learn a word called azadi, which means freedom. Azadi, can you say that? Azadi? Azadi. It means freedom. And now the last slogan is freedom of slogan, azadi. But do listen to the words carefully, and then with your heart and your spirit say azadi. We women want azadi. We women want azadi. Our daughters want azadi. From endless violence, azadi. From helpless silence, azadi. From discrimination, azadi. From subjugation, azadi. From patriarchy, azadi. From all hierarchy, azadi. For singing loudly, azadi. For dancing madly, azadi. For self-expression, azadi. For celebration, azadi. We love it madly, azadi. We like it badly, azadi. Thank you very much, azadi.
Kamla, Sister Kamla, Auntie Kamla. Thank you. Lovely. Come on, fire. Look at them, look at them.
I haven't got them fired up. They fired me up, that's why I was up there. It is their fire and my fire together.
Love, 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 love. Yes, you made this excellent point about the young boys I think we talked about that 4 years ago as well. Why hasn't that changed yet? Why are we still doing the same thing with little 2-year-old boys, telling them don't cry and kick your neighbor? Why are we telling them this?
I think earlier we only had the religious and cultural patriarchy. Today we have what I call capitalist patriarchy. We have pornography, we have child pornography, we have toys, Barbies for girls and guns for boys. We have films which are continuously promoting that kind of stereotyping of boys. I really feel if I talk spiritually, boys and men who do violence are more brutalized than women because we don't do it. We suffer it. They bloody do it. But I'm very happy that in many, many parts of the world, men now have created organizations. There is a World Alliance of Men Engage. And in South Asia, in all our countries, we now have boys and men coming together to fight patriarchy. And I tell them, don't stand up to save us. Save yourselves from patriarchy.
Point to make. What a point to make.
Yourselves from patriarchy, because if you are not violent, we are safe.
Exactly. That's the point to make.
If you are not dehumanized, we are safe. So save yourselves and behave yourselves.
Thank you so very much. Kamla Bhasin, everybody. Thank you. You're back.